Hello, welcome back to Snippets, Bits and Bobs, a new channel recently launched that provides an oasis of relaxation and calm with weekly themed collections of snippets or readings from various literary sources for you to be inspired by or evoke a memory or two as you slowly begin to relax. I have a lovely room for you to unwind. Come in. You are welcome here. Look around. Just as there are lots of bits and bobs, mementos around this library, I also will have bits and bobs of readings. What did you say? Oh, I'm so glad you like the room. Well, have a seat. Maybe on a high-back chair, or take a couple of cushions if you like and relax by the window. And I'll share some snippets with you. So, unwind, stay a while, and listen. Headphones are best. This week's theme celebrates France's National Day on July 14th. The day is celebrated with parades and picnics and, of course, fireworks in the evening. Bastille Day is the common name given to the French National Day, or le 14 Juillet. It symbolizes the birth of the Republic after the French Revolution. It commemorates the storming of the Bastille, a royal fortress and prison of the Bourbon monarchy. In the French historical novel, written in 1862 by Victor Hugo, Les Miserables, The Wretched Ones, is considered one of the greatest novels of the 19th century. It follows the lives and interactions of several characters, but especially the ex-convict Jean Valjean and his experience of redemption. Jean Valjean becomes a force for good in the world, but cannot escape his criminal past. Victor Hugo explains his book to his Italian publisher this way: I don't know whether it will be read by everyone, but it is meant for everyone. It addresses England as well as Spain, Italy as well as France, Germany as well as Ireland, the republics that harbor slaves as well as empires that have serfs. Social problems go beyond frontiers. Humankind's wounds, those huge sores that litter the world, do not stop at the blue and red lines drawn on maps. Wherever men go in ignorance or despair, wherever women sell themselves for bread, wherever children lack a book to learn from or a warm hearth, Les Miserables knocks at the door and says, "Open up. I am here for you." Towards the end of the novel, Victor Hugo explains Les Miserables' work this way: the book which the reader has before him at this moment is, from one end to the other, in its entirety and details, a progress from evil to good, from injustice to justice, from falsehood to truth, from night to day, from appetite to conscience, from corruption to life, from bestiality to duty, from hell to heaven, from nothingness to God. The starting point, matter, the spare, the soul. The hydra at the beginning, the angel at the end. Bring Him Home is a song from the popular Broadway musical Les Miserables, which is performed by the main character, Jean Valjean. In the musical, Valjean pleads to God to preserve the life of Marius as he watches over the young man. The song has become an anthem for people around the world and helps provide comfort for those in need. God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there. He is young. He's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one. How soon they fly, on and on. And I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace. Bring him joy. He is young. He's only a boy. You can take. You can give. Let him be. Let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Yes, I know he's a Brit. I know I'm taking license, but this novel takes place primarily in London and Paris in the latter half of the 18th century. That time period harkens the French Revolution. It spans a time period of roughly 36 years, with chronologically the first events taking place in December 1757 and the last in either late 1793 or early 1794. It's a story of noblesse oblige and the poor. The memorable opening lines, if you know by heart from memorization from school days, you can say it with me. Ready? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. Another memorable line. I see a beautiful city and a brilliant people rising from this abyss, and in their struggles to be truly free, in their triumphs and defeats, through long years to come, I see the evil of this time and of the previous time, of which this is the natural birth, gradually making expiation for itself and wearing out. And finally, the characters Sidney Carton, Mr. Carton, and Charles Darnay, Mr. Darnay. At the end of the story, out of sacrifice and love, Sidney gives up his life for another in hopes of salvation or redemption. Mr. Carton says, "It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known." The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. The book's original title in French is Notre Dame de Paris. It is set in Paris in 1482 during the reign of King Louis XI, about the bell ringer, the hunchback Quasimodo, deformed, blind, and who's enamored with the gypsy Esmeralda, whom he protects as she seeks sanctuary at Notre Dame Cathedral. The author started this novel in 1828 to bring attention to the replacement of Paris's Gothic architecture, of which Notre Dame was a famous example, which was being replaced by newer styles. Here's a description of Quasimodo upon his election as the fool's pope of the gypsies. We shall not attempt to give the reader an idea of that tetrahedron nose, that horseshoe mouth, that small left eye overshadowed by a red bushy brow, while the right eye disappeared entirely under an enormous wart of those straggling teeth with breaches here and there, like the battlements of a fortress, of that horny lip over which one of those teeth projected like the tusk of an elephant, of that forked chin, and, above all, of the expression diffused over the whole, that mixture of malice, astonishment, and melancholy. Let the reader, if he can, figure to himself this combination. And here's Quasimodo's reaction to Esmeralda's gift of a drink of water while he is being heckled on the pillory. Then, from that eye, hitherto so dry and burning, was seen to roll a big tear, which fell slowly down that deformed visage, so long contracted by despair. Perhaps it was the first that the unfortunate creature had ever shed. In the scene after Quasimodo rescues Esmeralda from being hanged, a minute afterwards, he appeared upon the upper platform, still bearing the gypsy in his arms, still running wildly along, still shouting, "Sanctuary!" and the crowd still applauding. At last, he made a third appearance on the summit of the tower of the great bell. From thence, he seemed to show exultingly to the whole city the fair creature he had saved, and his thundering voice, that voice which was heard so seldom, and which he never heard at all, thrice repeated with frantic vehemence, even in the very clouds, "Sanctuary! Sanctuary! Sanctuary!" Frere Jacques is a French origin nursery rhyme which can be sung in rounds. This 18th century song is about a friar, a religious brother, who has overslept and is urged to wake up and sound the bell for the matin, the midnight or very early morning prayers, for which a monk would be expected to attend. And as I said earlier, it's a song that can be sung in rounds. It repeats its short musical lines twice. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez le matin, sonnez le matin, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Brother John, Brother John, are you sleeping? Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Frere Jacques, Brother John, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Sonnez le matin, morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. I'm so glad you could stop by today. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe and hit the like button. Also, share your comments about this week's video in the comment section. And what topics would you want to hear in the future? Also, click on the bell icon on your right to get the latest videos when I upload them. I can't wait to share next week's theme with you. Okay, a hint? Something about summer with an English guy. See you soon at Snippets, Bits and Bobs. Bye-bye.